Hello there, this is Kush Sharma from Creative Pad Media. In this video, a long video, we will be covering Pincel AI in its entirety. So this is going to be a full review of all the tools Pincel AI has. This has been a web app that I've been very impressed with. And in my honest opinion, in January 2025, I can say for sure this is the best AI web app out there when it comes to image editing and also image generation. So you're going to get a complete breakdown of all the tools. Once we are done with this entire walkthrough, I'll also be talking about the credits option that you see here. What are the paid features? How much does it cost? How many credits do you get for free? For example, the moment you make your account, you do get 20 credits. So you will be able to follow along this tutorial because we will be seeing around 20 of these tools. Now, there are in total 35 AI tools, but a lot of these tools relate to graphic design and video editing also, which is something that I won't be covering in this tutorial. This is going to be about image editing and image generation. So we are going to be using a lot of images as we go through these tools here. Also, I have, if you've been following my channel, a lot of these tools covered through separate videos. Now, I'll still be showing you those tools again, but whenever that tool comes, you'll also get the reference link to the video where it is explained more in detail. And also, when there's a tool where I feel there's a separate alternative, like a free AI alternative, which also I have covered in the past, I'll also give you the link for that, because some of these tools work very well, but some of the tools don't work so well. And that's going to be the case with most of the AI web apps out there. But like I said, I think overall, Pincel AI definitely is the winner right now. So let's get started with it. So once you go to Pincel AI, the link will be given in the description, as well as the images that you just saw will be given in the description. You'll be able to download it. Once you go to the homepage, just go on tools and you'll start to see all these different tools here. So we're going to start off with one of their most famous tools, which is the AI portrait. So I have shown this in a lot of detail in a separate video. You can check it out. The link is hovering on top. But right now also, let's upload our first portrait image here to see how this works. All right, so this is the portrait image that we have for this. And the moment you do that, you see a very minimal interface. That's something good about Pincel. Everything is nice and clean and minimalist. And also, it's very fast. These generations usually don't take a lot of time. It's very, very reliable also, okay? So here, for example, we can just select the correct gender, which is in this case going to be man. Under style, either you can leave it at photographic, or you can select no style, or cinematic also works fine. Right now, let's just select no style at all. Basically, what we're doing with this tool is we have given it the face, and we're just now going to create virtual characters which have this face, and they're in different poses, they're in different styles. So either you can write the prompt for that, or let's say right now, just to save time, what we can do is we can probably select like a given one of the presets here. Okay, so let's say we select something like realtor headshot. Okay, so let's wait for the results here. All right, so you can see that that has done a pretty good job. And we can further enhance this result, make it look more realistic by doing a face swap. That's actually one of the tools in Pincel AI which we'll be seeing later. So this can definitely be improved even further. Let's just see one more of this before we move on to the next tool. So let's say maybe we can go for something like a studio shot like this. Let's wait for the results here. All right, so you can see that this also looks good. Anytime you select a preset template, you also get the prompt here on its own. You can, anytime if you want, you can modify this. So for example, I can say white studio background. Let's quickly generate this. Each generation, by the way, will cost you 1 credit. Okay, so if you're on the free plan, if you're following along and you're seeing all these tools, just use it once, and so that you don't run out of the credits, because the main idea is just to get you used to it. And you can see like this also looks good. And like I said, later on with the face swap, this can look really, really realistic. So one of the things that I've been very impressed with is their AI model, okay? As in the model that actually generates the output. And you'll be surprised to find out, I'm soon going to be showing you a test with Adobe Firefly. That's like one of the biggest AI software out there. And you're going to see that this software blows Adobe AI Firefly out of the park, even though it has more features. So we're actually going to be doing a little comparison in one of the tools there, okay? So you can see this is pretty good. Another very important thing, whenever you like something in Pincel AI, for example, let's say I really like this image, make sure that you hit download. Because one thing which is slightly a downside with this app is there's no way to store your generations. They probably do that to save the costs, I think. Or maybe there's some hidden way to find the generations. If I come to know, you'll probably get an update on that. But as of now, I've not been able to find any sort of a database on your account where all your generations are saved. So if you like something, make sure that you hit download. Otherwise, it'll be gone forever. Now, just one more thing about this tool. There's also this button that you get which says enhance. This is very, very important. Okay, so just see, because I used to think this will maybe just increase the resolution or something like that. No, it completely changes the photograph. Okay, so it's going to make this even better and more realistic. Okay, so let's wait for the results here. All right, so you can see, right, it really changes the result totally. Now, in this case, the only thing is I don't like what it did with the face, because the face looked slightly better on earlier. But like I said, right, they have the face swap tool. So if you look at the other things, the dress and all these things, you know, just how real it is, it definitely looks much more real right now. The only thing is you'll definitely have to do a face swap now to make it closer to what the original portrait was. But we're also going to hit download. Probably we'll use one of these images when I show you the face swapping tool. Right now, we're going to go back. We're going to go back to tools. Let's see another tool called AI Image Editor. And what this does, as you can see here, is that you can just upload an image, brush on it, and then write in a prompt to change it. Now, this tool doesn't really work that well, but I'm just going to be showing you an alternative within Pincel AI also. So first of all, let's upload our next image to see this in action. Right, so this time we've got this image, and what we're going to do is right now, let's just stick to something simple. So it's very simple. You get a brush, you can see here, your cursor basically turns into a brush. You can increase or decrease the size. So let's take a very simple objective. We're just going to paint over her feet here, and we're just going to type in, let's say, black boots. Okay. You have something called as fill mode. Usually just leave it to similar. That means we're saying don't change the outline too much. Otherwise it can really make it of a different shape. So similar and original kind of work and give you same results. Random and new means you're giving the tool full liberty to even like change the size and all. Okay, so usually you'll be sticking to these two, but it's not too important, because to be frank, if I do hit generate, you're going to see this tool, as long as something is small like this, it can still do the job. Okay, but like I'll be showing you later on, or actually right now, what is the alternative to that within Pincel AI. So you can see, right, we typed in black boots and it just gave us some sort of a fancy looking shiny silver boot. So this tool doesn't really work well. But what we're going to do is, if I go back again, if I go to tools here, now usually in this tutorial we're going to go in sequence. It's just that for this example I'll have to go down because its competitor is right here. It's called Reimagine, right at the end if you scroll all the way down. And let's upload the same image here also. So you can see, right, it looks very similar. We again get a brush, right? We get something, this time it's called control mode, but it's the same thing. That means we're going to keep the outlines that's selected by default. And this time, just see, if I do the same thing, let me just increase the size of the brush. And just type in black boots. And let's hit generate. And this time you're going to see that the results will be much better. All right, so you can see, right, this time it not only followed the prompt, but the generation is very, very real. So let's even use this tool further. By the way, I've also shown a dedicated tutorial on this tool where we saw how to change the physique of a person. There also it does a fantastic job. You can see the video in front of you. You can probably check it out later. But right now what we can do is let's increase the size of the brush because it even works very well on things like clothes here. Okay, so let's, for example, if we just brush over her pants and let's say we type in leather pants and let's wait for the results here. All right, you can see, right, this also looks good. Yes, just a bit of the last trouser probably remained here on the edge, but I think it's still fine. These things can be corrected very easily. In fact, these things can be corrected by some of the tools that you will actually be seeing later on within Pincel also. But just for the last time, I also want to show you that this tool doesn't really cause any sort of bad looking artifacts, which is again very rare for AI. For example, you can see, right, I've accidentally covered some of the white shirt that she's wearing, but it's not going to affect if we type in something like, let's say, yellow or let's say pink jacket, okay, let's just type in anything, it is intelligent enough to notice that yes, there are those edges of the shirt around, and it has to kind of avoid that even though they are painted on. So that's why I really like this tool. It doesn't really cause too many bad things to come over in the generation. So let's wait for the results here. Right, you can see, right, that just maintained the shirt so well, and this jacket also, it looks so real. So that's why I think when compared to the image editor, the Reimagine tool is definitely better. Now let's move on to the next tool. So the next one is called AI image to video. Like I said, we're mainly talking about photo editing here, so I won't be covering this. However, I do have a video that I just created 3 days back. You can check it out, where I show you how to make two people hug each other using this particular tool. Now, the next one is text to image. This is where I've been very, very impressed with their model, because this is where you'll actually see their AI model in action. So this is like same as any other AI text to image generator, like let's say Midjourney, Firefly, Stable Diffusion, and all these things, okay? But I've been very impressed with it. And what we're going to do right now is we're going to take one single prompt, put it both here and in what is regarded usually as the #1 image generating software, which is Adobe Firefly, and you're going to be surprised to see the results. So first of all, let's open Firefly. All right, so I've just opened up firefly.adobe.com. If you create a free account with them, you get 25 generations for free, so you'll be able to use this for free. And once you are on this page, if you go over to the text and image model they have, just click on any image, doesn't matter. We are basically trying to access the main interface where you can type in the prompts like this. We're going to remove the prompt for this. This was generated by one of the users. Just remove everything that you see here, okay? And what we're going to do is we have a prompt here. So I've also given you this file so you can also use this. A group of international students celebrating their graduation day in the streets of Bangkok. Like a very random prompt. But what I want is, before we generate this, I want you to imagine what you are thinking in your mind when you read this. And I can guarantee you that what we are going to get with Pincel AI is much more closer to what you just imagined, okay? So again, let's just copy this. Let's first of all generate this in Firefly. So you can leave pretty much everything on the default, okay? You don't really have to do anything. Just in content type, just make sure you select photo, okay? So, and that's it. You don't have to worry about anything. And just copy this, and let's hit try prompt, and let's wait for the results here. Right, so you can see, I don't even have to click on it, right? They look really bad. They look very generic, and if you just look at the faces, I mean, that's just not recognizable at all. This looks really bad. Now, Firefly usually is not that bad, okay? To be frank, even I'm surprised how bad the results are right now. But usually Firefly, if you do, pay attention to your prompts, you get your settings right here, it can at least do a better job. But still, if you think of it, this is not what you pictured in your mind, right? But just see the difference when it comes to Pincel's text generator. So let's say I paste the same thing here. And so one is that you can paste the prompt here. I'll just be talking about what seed means. And then you finally get to select the aspect ratio. Do you want it to be a portrait, like a longer image, or landscape? So let's go for, okay, I don't mind portrait. And you can even select a style. But what I've seen here is that no style actually works the best. And then if you hit generate, let's wait for the results here. You can see, right, like there is no comparison between what we got here with this. This looks so real. And later on, you're going to be seeing, for example, in a case like this, you're going to soon see the multi-face swapping tool, where you can select multiple people and swap their faces. And if you do that here, this can really pass as a real image, right? And let's just see the different variations, because sometimes when you change the aspect ratio, the look can change completely. So let's also see how it looks slightly in a more horizontal landscape format. You can see, right? Like, look at this. Like when you immediately look at this, this looks like a real photo. Whereas if I just click on it, this looks nothing like it, right? And just imagine Adobe Firefly is more popular than this text to image generator. You can see this looks amazing. And what seed means is that if you like something, you can just copy the seed number from here, paste it here, and then it's going to, if you modify the prompt, it's still going to keep the original image like this, and probably only going to change the other things. For example, we can type in streets of maybe, let's say, Los Angeles. Okay, so then it's going to at least maintain most of the things that you're seeing here. It's just that it's going to probably change the city, like you can see here. Okay, So again, very, very impressive. So now let's move on to the next tool, which is the AI image replicator. I'm not really covering this because this is where you just upload a drawing of yours and it turns it into something real, not really into not really related to image editing. Okay. Then we have the AI PNG generator. Again, this is mainly for graphic design people. So if you need a PNG sort of an image which has a transparent background of any object, you can type it and create it by writing prompts, because this can be tough to find on Google. Image variation maker, this is something that we're going to see. And as the name suggests, this is very easy to understand. You upload an image, it's going to create AI variations of that. So let's quickly see this in action. We uploaded this image of this burger. We can again select the orientation. So let's stick to portrait and let's hit generate, and it's going to do its work. So let's see the results here. All right, you can see that this has just created the AI versions of this, right? You can see this looks pretty good. And if you see how nicely he's trying to maintain the different details there, like the ingredients inside the burger, you can see that it does a pretty good job. It's just that it looks much more cleaner and probably much more professional than the original photograph. However, it also has a little bit of a polished AI look. I'll be showing you one of the tools later on which can actually get rid of that look and make it more real also, okay? But again, I think this is a great tool. I've also tried it a lot on portraits. For example, it works well. It changes the pose also, the original pose, but then sometimes it produces a lot of artifacts like extra hands or extra legs. So if you are able to edit that, you can probably try that on your own also, but it will require some amount of editing when you use it for portraits. Right now, I would suggest this works best for inanimate objects like food, products, etc. Now let's move on to the next tool. The next tool that we're going to see is called Object Remover. Now this is kind of very, very popular with a lot of AI web apps out there. So let's upload the image and it does a pretty good job. So you've got this image, you're going to get a brush, very simple tool to use. Whatever you don't want, for example, we want to remove this person from here, and also we want to remove the shadow. We're just going to paint over that. Be very careful, because the moment you leave your mouse click after brushing, it automatically starts the process, and you can see that it does the job in a good way. Oftentimes what I've seen is in some of the more challenging images where let's say the background is much more varied, you can sometimes see the outline. Okay, so not a tool which is 100% perfect, but still does the job well. Okay, let's get back. Let's move on to the next tool, which is going to be AI background generator. This is absolutely terrible. I would not suggest that you use it. In fact, I'm going to be showing you one great alternative after I show you the example. Let's upload the image of a product with a transparent background that I've given you, a perfume bottle. All right, so we have this image. It doesn't have a background. So one thing is that you can just simply select background color and change the color from here. That really is of no use. Background image also, that way you can just select any image behind. Again, that's not really AI into play. But if you select AI background, this is where you can type in a prompt. Okay, now let me show you. I'm soon going to be showing you an example from another AI app, which I believe is the best for product AI editing. But right now, let me show you the results here with the same prompt. So what I did here and on that app, as you will soon be seeing, is that I typed in this prompt: minimalist background with, sorry, is wrong, minimalist background with blue hues and props. Okay, and I typed in and we're going to hit generate. We're going to see the results here. One downside already is that before even the image comes up is that we don't get to resize this in any way. Okay, so you can't make it small. Whatever the original size of the product in the image is, that's around where the background will be generated. So it's not something that you can customize too much. But I'm just going to wait for the result here, because then I want to talk about something. All right, so you can see the result here, and this just doesn't look good at all, not even close to something which is professional. However, I use the exact same prompt in another software called AI Mocker, which is specifically made, that web app is specifically made for product AI editing, and that is way superior, because you can see with the same prompt the result in front of you, which looks absolutely amazing. It is totally up to you how big the product is, how big the background is in that app. So if you are interested in something like this, I have a detailed tutorial on AI Mocker, which is almost 25 minutes long. The link is hovering on top. You will be able to see that later on if you want. But definitely this tool is not that great. So let's move on to the next tool. So the next tool that we're going to see is the clothes swap tool. I have a very detailed and long video on this tool also, where I've shown it not just with the option that you're seeing here, but much more, like choosing some different models and how to use it for e-commerce. The link is on top. You will, if you want to see this in more detail, you'll be able to see this later. But right now, let me show you that this is one of the best clothes swapping tools when you have the image of the clothes itself. Okay, so what we're going to do is very simple to use. You upload your model image here in case you have one, and you upload the clothes image in the garment image section. So for model right now, what we're going to do is we can just select one of their own models from here. So if you click here, it comes here, and under garment, I've given you the image of a leather jacket. Let's upload that here. And the moment you do that, is going to give you this crop window. So make sure everything is within the boundary. Otherwise, if it's not, you can just use your mouse wheel to zoom it back in or out. In this case, it's already fitting. So I'm just going to hit crop and make sure the correct option is set here. For example, this is for upper body. In my detailed tutorial, I've shown all. Okay, but right now we're just going to stick to upper body, and then let's hit generate to see the result here. And what we're going to pay attention to is how not only if it just replaces the cloth, but if you see the design, because it has some unique features like this chain and the pocket, just this whole design here and this threading, does it maintain that also along with its ability to change it and fit the model well? So let's wait for the result. All right, so you can see we've got the results. Doesn't really cause any sort of distortions, no artifacts. And if you see, first of all, the fitting is absolutely perfect. And secondly, if you just notice the design, everything is there. And this looks really, really nice. Usually, when you like something, you will have to upscale it and then download, because the original resolution for these images is very low. So if you like something, double its resolution and then click on download. Let's move on to the next tool, which is going to be the AI character tool. This is a lot of fun. I've again shown it in the past. This is where you create your own person, a person who doesn't exist. And then what you can do is, once you've created that person, you can actually couple this tool with the first tool that we saw in this review, which was the AI portrait tool. That means you can actually do a photo shoot of a person who doesn't exist and literally create a portfolio of an AI character. Okay, so let me show you how to do this. So let's take an example. Let's say we want to create an Asian man who is let's say around 29 years old. So we're going to select Asian here, and we can just describe the appearance. So I've got this little prompt for you. You can copy this, or you can, if you want, you can type this anything on your own. So we're going to copy this: short black hair, spectacles, round facial features. We're going to hit generate, and this is the first result we've got. Sometimes you've got to generate a couple of times before you see something that looks more real. So let's hit generate again. And you can keep, this is slightly better than the last time, but like I said, do it around 3 to 4 times. And at some point, you're going to see something that where you don't get that bad looking AI skin. So you can see like something like this probably looks good. Let's just do it once or twice more. All right, so after around 10 generations, I finally got this, which is something that I had in my mind. And what I'm going to do now is I can either download this image. I can also save this as a character, because then I can use this in other tools just by simply telling them that I want to use this particular character. So I can actually give this a name. So I can say, let's say, Asian 29-year-old, okay? Or anything. You can probably give it a name also. And you can give other things also. This is not too necessary. So we can just click on save. And you can see that our character is now saved. And now, if I actually go back, we can also just download this image, because we might require it later on for face swapping. But how you can couple this with other tools is, for example, now if I go back to tools and go to AI portrait, this actually gives you the option. So apart from uploading the image, you can actually select this character, Asian 29-year-old. And now it automatically comes here, and you can directly start to create some generations. So let's wait for the result here. All right, so you can see that that maintains it really, really well. Let's just try it once more, and whatever image comes right now, we'll probably use it also to see the face swap, since we already have the headshot for this person. So let's wait for the results. All right, so this also looks good. One thing, always be careful when it comes to hands and fingers with AI. Even though Pincel AI is one of the best tools I've seen which handles the fingers really well, but still sometimes you're going to see that it is going to cause some issues. In this case, always make sure that you hit generate. Again, right now, just for speed's sake, I'm going to download this and we're probably going to use it later on. But you can see that you can use a couple of tools in conjunction and then kind of create a photo shoot with your character. There's some other tools also which allow you to use this saved character. Now, the next tool here is the AI logo artwork, which is related to graphic design. So I'm not going to show this. Same thing with the QR code artwork. AI Architect, I would say, is not really in the realm of photo editing. I have a separate video on it. If you are interested, you can check it out. The link is hovering on top. You can upload a room, like an empty room, and then you can just write prompts to basically change how the room looks. So I'm just going to quickly show you this because, like I said, I have a detailed video for it and it doesn't really come under the realm of image editing. But let me just upload the image that I've given you here. So we've got this empty room here, and it's a very simple tool to use. You select a style. For example, let's say I just want to visualize how this room will look if, let's say, this was mine and I was planning to turn this into some sort of a gaming room. So you can select a lot of different styles from here. For example, I can select gamer room, then select a room. You can see we have a lot of options here according to whatever you want. And here also I'm going to select gamer room. Then it's just going to automatically fill the prompt here. If you want, you can change anything in the prompt. Make sure you just zoom out in your browser because the generate button sometimes in Pincel gets hidden when it's too down. Okay, so I've just zoomed out on my browser so that I can see the generate button. Similarity or creativity, the closer this slider is to similar, that means it's going to stick to the original. The closer it's to the creative side, it's going to produce a lot of changes. So let's say let's keep it at 0.7 and let's hit generate and let's see the results here. All right, so our image is almost ready. This tool can be great for people who are into interior design, or simply if you're just looking to redecorate your room or something like that, and you just want to get an idea before you start buying your stuff or something like that, you can then use this tool. So yeah, it has its uses for sure. And we are right now going to go back to tools and we are going to see the next one, which is going to be the face swapping tool. So right now, let's use it for some of the images that we've generated using the other tools. So let's open the face swap tool. Let's first of all use it for our very first image where we had enhanced the image, and you saw that time that it improved the image, but it made the face very different. So let's see if it can handle something like this. So here on the target image, we're going to upload the AI generated image there. Right, so this was the image that we had got after enhancing, and it looked really nice except for the face. So now we're going to upload that original portrait of that man. Right, so we are all set. And once this is the case, just hit generate and let's keep an eye on the face here. And you can see, I think it was already not looking bad. Okay. And now if we compare this and this looks absolutely like this person, right? So this is an amazing tool. So let's go on to the next tool, which is very similar. If you go again to tools, we have the multi-swap tool. Okay, and what this tool does is that it's the same thing, it's just that you upload a picture in which there are a lot of people, it's going to allow you to change everyone's face. So let's see an example of this. So let's upload that image that we had generated using the text to image model. So let's upload that here because that had a group of people in it. All right, so I've just added this particular image. Again, this was created using that same prompt, and you can see this looks absolutely amazing. Not sure about the dress here, but I think apart from that, it looks good. But like I said, one of the issues that you even saw with Firefly is the faces sometimes don't look good. So first of all, this tool can be used if you just have a normal real life image where you just want to swap the faces. But otherwise, you can also, it's great to turn these AI generated images into something that looks much more real so that the face can look much better. So you can see it has analyzed the image and it has given all the faces here. So if you want, you can just add the plus sign, add the new image with the target face. So let's do it at least for one of the faces. So let's say I want to change this person to the AI character that we created. Okay, so let's click on plus and let's add the headshot that we had generated for the character. All right, so we've done it just for one person here, but that should be fine for this example. And let's keep an eye on this person here because that's the one. And you can see that that has got the characteristics of this particular person, right? So this is again a great tool. Similarly, they also have a video swap here, okay, which is also part of the tools. But like I said, right now I'm mainly covering the tools related to image editing, but as the name suggests, that's going to swap the face in the video. So let's move on to the next tool, which is going to be the Canny Tool here, which in my opinion, it just didn't do a very, very good job. Now, what this is supposed to do is you basically type in a prompt, it's going to maintain the outlines and it's going to follow the prompt. Similar to what we saw with Reimagine, okay? And the photo editing, the image editor tool where you brush something and you type in the prompt. It's just that here, this is way more aggressive. So let's just try this. So we have this particular image of this woman doing the ballet dance. And what we're going to do is let's just type in something like outdoor, or let's just type in garden, okay? And you really can't do too much with this tool except for this one little slider where it says threshold. This just means that if you increase the threshold, you're saying that the result generated should be as similar to the original image as possible. If you reduce the threshold, you're giving it more liberty. So we're going to see what happens in both the cases. So right now it's in the middle, which usually gives the best results. So let's hit generate once. And you can see the results here. So it tries to keep the outline, but there's nothing else that you have control of, right? It even changed the dress and all these things, but it at least maintains the same pose. Probably if we just increase the threshold and then generate it, let's wait for the results. You can see now it's much more closer to the original, but even at the threshold of 1, you can see that, yes, it is probably trying to keep more of the structure, like you can see the top part here. But even if you notice the dress now, it has changed a lot of things. And this is something that is going to be very, very aggressive. But if you just want to have fun with it, this is an okay tool. There are a couple of tools like this in Pincel. We are soon going to be seeing one of them again also. Let's go back right now. Let's go back to tools. And let's go to the next one, which is going to be the reference tool. Now, this looked good from the thumbnail, but when I actually opened it, this was all about turning a normal image into a drawing. So if you are into that, this can be probably a good tool. But right now, I'm not really going to be showing that since it's not a part of image editing really. Text to speech, again, this is good for people who want to create some kind of a voiceover. Relight is definitely one of my favorite tools. I have a very detailed tutorial on it, which I just released last week. You can check it out. The link is on top. But right now, let's at least use it for 2 images. And what this tool does is that once you upload an image like this, you can just type in a prompt and it's basically going to change the lighting and the background according to that prompt, okay? So how it works is you write the prompt here, but before that, just make sure, because this makes a lot of difference to the output, you select the correct direction of the original lighting. You can clearly see this is from the left, so we're going to select left light. And let's say I type in window to the left, sunlight, okay? And this is a very aggressive tool because once I hit generate, this is going to completely change the image and it's going to create a composite in such a way that not only does it change things, it even changes the lighting accordingly. So you can see here. Because a lot of tools, they replace the AI tools, they replace the background like this, but they don't change the lighting on the subject, and that makes it look very fake. And sometimes you can just hit generate again it's going to give you very different results each time. Okay, so let's just wait for one of the results. And sometimes it can change the face like you can see here. In that case, you will just have to do a face swap, and now you already know how to do it. But not just for portraits. This can work well for other types of images also. So let's see the same shot of the burger that we had seen before, and let's upload it here. And this time, we're going to type in, let's say, dark and cinematic, okay? And the lighting, this time you can see the shadow is here. The light seems to be from here. So we're just going to select right light and let's hit generate. All right, so you can see, right? This really maintains the subject well and the lighting on it, but it just absolutely made it exactly dark and cinematic. Probably not the best for a food shot, but you can get an idea that you can really aggressively change any kind of a shot. Just remember, in portraits, oftentimes you will have to do the face swap. So let's move on to the next tool. So the next tool is the AI multimedia chat, again, not relevant to us. Then is the upscaler, which I'm not really going to show because what it does is the moment you upload your image, it's going to increase the resolution by 2 times the amount. I don't really recommend that you use this tool because it's unnecessarily going to eat up one of your credits. They are a plethora of free AI tools out there which not only upscale your image 2 times, but you can do it for free up to 8 times. For example, you can use upscale media AI, which is something I pretty much show in most of my tutorials. You can use it for free, and that allows you to change the resolution, increase the resolution 2 times, 4 times, or 8 times for free. So I'll leave the link to that in the description. So let's again go back to the tools and let's see the next one. Then we have the background remover. I was not really happy with it. Okay, let me just show you an example of this. So let's upload a slightly complex image where it's tough to remove the background. The moment you upload this image, you can see it says removing background, and you can either select sharper or smoother. To be frank, it doesn't really make any difference. I have tried both. Both yielded the same results, which were not good. So it just yielded very poor results. And for example, if I just hit download, and if I just show you this image, you're going to see that around the tough, complex edges, it just doesn't do a good enough job. If you want to do something like this, there's a far superior tool, which is something I've shown a lot of times in my videos, completely free, called the Pincel AI background remover, which is also a one-click tool like this, but it just does the job in a much more cleaner way. Let's see the next tool. The next tool that we're going to see is the photo extender. This is a tool, again, I was not very impressed with. Let me quickly show you why by uploading the next image here. Now, what an extender is supposed to do is that you should be able to change the canvas size of the image and then let AI fill in the pixels. Now, first of all, that is not possible here because you are restricted by certain aspect ratios like portrait. It's not really going to make too much of a difference. It's just going to add this dark gray parts, which are not really too much than what was there in the original image. But let's say we hit landscape. Yes, now at least we have more room or square. So let's go for landscape. If you want, you can even type in something that you want to generate. I've just seen the results are not really good. So if we hit generate, we are hoping that it adds those pixels in such a way that maybe it'll add more negative space. It'll fill in his shoulder, maybe something like that. Okay. But if you see the results, oftentimes it even distorts the subject, even though it's actually not supposed to work on the main subject. Okay. And you can see we've got a result which is just completely random. It's just filled things on its own. And if you look at the original image, it's just distorted it. So it doesn't really work well. When it comes to things like this, there's no doubt that the AI features in Photoshop reign supreme. The generative expand is a feature which is perfect for this, but you don't have to have Photoshop to use it. Just as a side note, you can go to firefly.adobe.com. Instead of text to image, this time you can go to generative fill, upload the same image here, and then simply use the expand option here and do the same thing. But I just want to show you what exactly we were trying to go for, because now you'll see that. So let's say we kind of uncrop this and let's hit generate and let's wait for the results here. Right, so you can see the results and they look really nice and clean. This is what we wanted from Pincel, but unfortunately this particular tool doesn't really work well. So let's move on to the next tool, which is something I'm still working on because I've not really figured out this tool very well, which is called the AI detailer. Now, what this is supposed to do, okay, according to Pincel, it's supposed to increase the details. And that can be great for, remember I told you earlier on, sometimes the AI images, they just look too polished. And you can add that detail which makes them look closer to like absolutely photorealistic, right? This is what it claims, but it just hasn't been my experience that it works as well as they show. One good thing about Pincel is that whenever you are on any particular tool, if you scroll down, okay, they always give you examples of how this tool is supposed to be used. And this can be very helpful because it can give you a lot of ideas, okay? But here what I was seeing was, for example, something like this. If I click on it, it's actually going to show you what the original image was, which was like this low resolution image of this old man. And once you ran it through the AI detailer, it turned it into this. But this hasn't been my experience with this tool. So if I again go back here, let me just show you. So if I add one of my images, which was of this strawberry that I had falling in this milk, and I had used a very fast shutter speed to capture this. So therefore the ISO value was very high because the shutter speed cut down a lot of light, and therefore this image was very soft and it had a lot of noise. So I wanted to see if this can fix this, right? How this tool works is anytime you upload any sort of an image, you can type in a prompt and then you can select the resemblance and the creativity slider. So what I can, in the prompt, we are just basically going to type in the very same thing. So I can type in strawberry. falling in milk and creating a splash. Okay, so stick as close to this as possible, because all the examples that I saw, the examples that I just shown you of Pincel's own work, I saw the prompts on the side and the prompts were very similar to what the picture was. Okay, resemblance, as the name suggests, is how close the generation will be to the original. So yes, I want it to be exactly very close. Okay, and how much room are we giving probably to this tool to add its own elements? Like how creative can it get? So let's just say, yeah, a bit of freedom. So at 0.5 and 1.54. So let's hit generate and let's see the result. So you can see, right, it does improve the image, because now if you see both the images side by side, you can see that yes, the image generated by AI detailer definitely looks slightly better, but then it also has changed the image. Now that might not matter that much in such an image, but when it comes to portrait, sometimes it can make a huge difference. For example, what we're going to do right now is let's upload that AI character image that we generated, because one of the issues we were facing there was that the skin looked too polished, like those AI skins. So let's see if it can turn that into something that looks more real. So this was the image that we had got. Now, these are the default values for resemblance and creativity. We want the future generation to really be close to his face. So we are going to increase the resemblance slider, because I've seen if it's somewhere here, it just totally changes the person. Okay. And we don't really want to give too much room for creativity also. We are really being very restrictive, but also not choosing complete extremes, so that then I've seen it doesn't actually make any difference. And then what I typed here was add texture to skin. Okay. But I was not really happy with the results, because oftentimes it just significantly changed the person altogether, even though these sliders were very conservative. So let's wait for the results here. Right, you can see the result. It definitely makes it look much more real, right? This is exactly what we wanted. But the problem here is it has just changed the person altogether. So if there's a way by which I can figure out that how to use this tool, but then keep the features the same, maybe we can do a face swap on this. But then again, that's something which is separate. So I'm still figuring out how to use this tool. Once I do that, I actually intend to make a separate video on it. And the reason why I am so interested in this tool is because if we can figure out how to use this has the capability to replace a lot of very expensive tools out there which do the same job, like Magnific AI and Clarity AI and all these tools which cost you like $50 to $60 a month. They do something in a much better way, but then they cost a lot of money. Okay, so if this tool can allow us to do the same thing and we get the other tools also that Pincel offers, this definitely will be the winner. So keep an eye out. And in case in the future I do find something, you will come to know. But right now, let's move on to the next tool, which is the Colorize tool, which, to be frank, didn't really work well. Okay, let me just quickly drop an image here of a washed up black and white portrait. And the moment you do that, it's just going to start coloring the image. But I was not really happy with the results. If you are interested in not only colorizing old photos, but also restoring them, the art of restoring and colorizing very old photographs, I've got a separate tutorial with this very image. The link is hovering on top. You can check it out later. There also, we use completely free tools to do that, but not in Pincel. Okay. Other tools here, you can see they're not really related to photo editing. Reimagine, we've already seen. It's a fantastic tool. AI sticker not needed. Spiral artwork, a lot of photographers do use it to turn their landscape shots into something like this. You can try this out on your own, because this doesn't really require any sort of skill. Then we've got these three, out of which Face Animator is again part of more like videos, where you can just upload your selfie, it's just going to animate it. And Crop and Collage is where you can upload a lot of photographs and then just create different versions where they're together. Okay, but face expression probably is something that photographers might be interested in, because if you do upload your any sort of an image, you can actually upload a reference image which has any sort of an expression, and it's going to turn your original image into something with that expression. So for example, let's try this with our AI character image. So we've got this image, and either we can select a completely new image that we have on our own and upload it here, or they've got some reference images here. We can probably try it out. For example, maybe let's say we can select this one, and then it's gonna hopefully animate this into something like this. So let's hit generate. Sometimes I've seen this can take a lot of time, so let's just wait for this. All right, so that took around 4 minutes, and you can see the results don't look bad at all. It has just blurred the subject a bit. That is something I have seen. So if you are using this tool, make sure the original image itself is very sharp. Okay, then it doesn't really cause this problem. But if you just judge it from the expression point of view, I think this does a pretty good job. Now that we've covered all the tools, let's also see how much Pincel actually costs. So when it comes to the pricing, this is very, very affordable as compared to the other AI web apps out there. So once you go onto the pricing page, you will be able to see that yes, the starter plan is free, but you only get 20 generations and they don't replenish. Okay, so you can only use it once for free. The creator plan is pretty affordable. At $19 a month, you get 1,000 generations per month, which is more than enough. This is the plan I am on currently. You also get the premium and restless plans where, of course, you get more amount of credits. The other things don't really change. So definitely you can start off with the creator plan. Also, if you are, let's say, on the creator plan and you do run out of credits, you can top up your credits anytime. Let me show you where you can do that from, because that is slightly hidden and it was not something which was very apparent. So if you go over to your account here and you click on settings, and on this page, you're going to find out something that says API key, things like delete account, and just sandwich between them, you have this little option that says credits 880 right on. So that's what I'm left with. But I can anytime buy credits. So if I hit buy credits, it's gonna show me different options where I think it starts off with 1,000 credits, which are again gonna cost you $19. But that's just like a top-up. It won't change your subscription dates. That's just gonna add the number of credits to your existing credits. And just be careful with this. The moment you hit this option, it's not like there's any confirmation message or something like that. You just select the credit. The next button when you hit, your money is deducted. So it's slightly aggressive that way. There's no confirmation yes or no. You just buy it straight away, but you can do it. Also, another interesting thing is their own blog. Usually I never check these things because these are not updated, but the Pincel people do update this blog a lot, and they actually give you some amazing ideas on how to use their tools from here also. So that is also something worth checking out. I think this is overall an absolutely amazing tool. I do plan to do some other tutorials, full-fledged tutorials, review tutorials like this for some other AI tools also. In case this video helped you out, do give it a like. And if you want to follow along all my experiments with the different AI tools and how they can help photographers do their job in a quicker and easier manner, then do subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time.